Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBO Super Featherweight Champion of the world. It is, of course, the main man himself, Mr. Jamel Herring. Jamel, welcome back on the show, my man.
Hey, what's going on, brother? It's always good to speak to you.
Always good to speak with you as well. So, Jamel, we co-hosted a podcast together a few weeks back, but the last time we did an interview was back in August 2021. It's been a long time. We spoke just before the Shakur Stevenson fight. Obviously, yes. As a fan of yours, as a friend of yours, it was a hard fight to watch. You did fight once after that, obviously. The decision lost to Jermaine Ortiz, who, as we say at that time, the boxing world didn't know very well. Since then, he's gone on to prove he's a very, very good fighter. You made the decision to retire after that loss to Ortiz. You don't strike me as a guy who makes decisions and then does a U-turn on them. What has made you want to come out of retirement here, Jamel?
I just love the sport, and I missed it for the most part. Honestly, I just missed it. I just feel like I still have something left in the tank. Obviously, of course, but I just love it. I just love the sport of boxing, and I missed the action. Honestly.
Jamel, was it maybe a rash decision to retire now, looking back?
Maybe so. I mean, like 2 losses back to back is hard for anyone, honestly. And I didn't know, like my body was just going through it at the time. I was having like issues with my shoulder, so you didn't really see much of my jab as much anymore. And it was just a lot. It was just a lot going on, and I just thought I needed to step away, at least for the sake of my body.
And I want to ask as well, how pleased or displeased was Jen, your wife, with this decision to continue?
Of course, she would rather have me be more at home, but she knows deep down that I missed the sport and I missed the action. So she's actually been very, very, really supportive. But again, she would have loved if I would have chose a different route. But she knows me as a fighter and my mindset that, once I have my mind set on something, she knows I'm going to chase after it for the most part.
And I would normally ask what you've been up to during retirement, but obviously we've heard you almost every weekend on Sky Sports calling these top-ranked shows as a commentator. How much do you enjoy that, and does your comeback mean that you won't be commentating as much?
I really enjoy it. I actually learned a lot. I actually commentating, for Sky Sports is definitely one of the main reasons why I had got that hunger. Because think about it, if you're watching, the action up close every other weekend or so, you kind of get that hunger, and you just miss it. Especially when you have a great reaction from the crowd and everything going on, you just fall back in love with it all over again. But for the most part, I still top rank. Hey, just because I'm boxing again doesn't mean that I don't want to commentate. In fact, I'll be back December 9th to commentate. I even asked them to put me on the Shakur Stevenson show November 17th if there was an opportunity available. But they put Mccullough Mayer on for that card. So I'm still very much involved with commentating, and I asked for the dates, available. But at times, you see they'll rotate, like myself, Mccullough, and others, and others out of the lineup with Christina Pancha.
Yeah, man, it's been good, like I say, hearing you. Your comeback fight's been announced for a short while now. You'll be boxing on November 7th in Manhattan against the undefeated 13-0 Nicholas Molina. I don't know anything about this guy, Jamel. What do you know about the guy?
Obviously a young kid. Most of his, if not all of his record, that for the most part was built solely in his backyard. Of course, BoxHard's available for everyone, so you pretty much point these things out. He hasn't really anyone no one at all near as experienced as myself. But again, sometimes you got to look at these kids and say that this is maybe their golden opportunity. So you always have to be prepared and expect the best. So I just have to be prepared for the best version of Nicholas Molina.
And Jamel, do you need to prove something to yourself or to the public here?
I think it's funny. I'm glad you asked that, because I was just telling myself earlier, listen, I know I can win this fight, but it's all about how I look winning the fight. And with that being said, if I want to prove that I'm still at a world championship elite level in terms of fighting for better competition down the road, I have to go out here and make a splash for people to acknowledge that, okay, it wasn't a bad idea for him to come back. And yes, he does have something to prove, something left in the tank. And yes, he can still make those big fights. So yeah, for the most part, it's not so much of something to prove to myself because I know me. I think I still have something to prove to the people who are still kind of skeptical of what's left and what will I do.
And how do you see the fight playing out? Obviously, you said there, this guy, he's going to be hungry. He's undefeated. This is his golden ticket, if you like. How do you see the fight playing out, though?
Honestly, I think between you and I think I'm gonna hurt the kids. To be honest with you, and that's because I've been having a great camp. Obviously, I'm training with former world champion Wayne McCullough, who's a great trainer. The main aspect I was missing from my game, if I'm just being truthful, was always been the defensive aspect. And training with Wayne, I've learned so much in the past month or so with just Wayne in terms of defense. We all know I can fight. We all know I could be offensive when I wanted to, but I always had issues at times setting things up because my defense was poor at times, and I was missing opportunities because I didn't catch on things at times. But with Wayne, he helps you make it a lot easier to get in and out of harm's way, and while also countering and creating opening shots. So with that being said, listen, Wayne has a 16x16 ring in his gym, and it's a very, very small ring. I am a boxer, but yet working with Wayne, I've been sparring guys 30 pounds heavier than me. I was just sparring Australia's Liam Pyro for the second time this camp, and others. I'm actually supposed to be sparring Devin Haney sometime next week. So I feel a lot more comfortable with these guys. That's bigger than me. Obviously, I have way more experience and knowledge than Nick Molina. So when you put that all into play, you feel good about yourself, and especially I'm holding my own. I'm not sore. I'm not getting beat up in the ring, and I'm just a lot sharper and smarter in there.
Yeah, you touch on it there. You've trained, or you're now being trained under Wayne McCullough, former WBC world champion. I was going to ask, how's that going? You pretty much answered that, but how did that come about? My good friend and partner Jerry Casares, he actually knows Wayne personally, and at first we were going to take our kid from Scotland, Stephen Nunes Jr., back to Vegas because Stephen and Wayne had worked with each other when Stephen came to the States. And then JC thought that it would be a great idea for me to give Wayne a try as well. And then, I called Wayne when we spoke over the phone, and we quickly hit it off. And one thing led to another, and here I am training under Wayne McCullough. But the chemistry is just great, and we just easily clicked. And every day I go to the gym, I'm just anxious to learn more and more. And I still can easily make the weight. So I'm not killing myself to make the weight. I'm sparring a lot more sharper, taking more chances, but also being more slicker in terms of the incoming. And like I said, Wayne to me is an underrated teacher, and it just makes sense right now. And that's your new trainer. Your former trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, just got out of jail here in the UK this week. Do you have an opinion or a reaction to that? Jamel, it was sad to see him go away in the first place, obviously.
Oh, no, it's funny. He actually reached out to me yesterday. Me and Bomac spoke yesterday. Because, again, like I said, I love Bomac. He's still a family to me. So when it happened, because what happened was when everything happened, when the story first broke out, I immediately texted his phone, of course, but by then, obviously, he was already taken into custody. So he probably, I'm assuming yesterday when he was finally freed, he seen my message, my concerning message, and he replied back saying, "Hey, I'm going home, young fella, I'm good." And I was just happy there. But I'm glad he's out. We all make mistakes. No one's perfect. But I'm just glad that he can return home to his family. And again, I told him that I'll see him in the near future.
Yeah, good to see him out. Obviously, genuine mistake. Before officially coming out of retirement, you'd called Joe Cordina out on social media, and in typical Jamel Herring fashion, you called him out in possibly the most politest way in boxing history. Joe Cordina responded with interest in that fight. You both now have new opponents, but how likely is it that we'll actually wind up seeing you against Cordina, Jamel?
Again, I've been telling you for years, bro, that I want to fight in the UK. I really want to fight in the UK. I haven't fought in the UK since the 2012 Olympic Games, and that was amateur. So again, I just put it out there last weekend or whatever, or after the Wood Warrington fight. I know Eddie Hearn wants to make a matchup between if Cordina gets past his next opponent, Eddie Vasquez, that he wants to make a matchup between Cordina and Wood. Listen, I'm not mad at Joe Cordina. If he wants to make the biggest paydays he can make out there, go ahead and do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna bash the guy, but at the same time, I'm still open and willing to travel overseas to fight Joe Cordina. Even if it comes down to, let's say, Josh Warrington wants to move up in weight and and fight again at 130, I will gladly take that fight as well over there as well in the UK if that's what they want to do. Like I'm pretty much open to anything, but I feel good about myself and where I'm at in my career, that I'm not like other fighters that are afraid to travel and so forth and so on. Like I have no issue fighting none of those guys over there in the UK, and there's nothing disrespectful. I just I give them that respect to be like, hey, if I have to come over to your backyard, then so be it. I was willing to come to the Belfast before the pandemic to fight Frampton, so it's the same mindset. But again, if we don't get Joe Cordina, I know Lamont Roach is trying to get the WBA champion with Hector Garcia. Lamont Roach has expressed on a podcast that if he somehow gets the WBA title, he would love to run it back and do a rematch with me, because there's already a story behind that. Emmanuel Navarrete, he has my old title, and I still have a relationship with Top Rank, as you pointed out. I still commentate with Top Rank, and my new promoter Lou Dibella, he works Top Rank very closely. So there are options, but again, Joe Cordina is the number one option for me, because again, I want to fight in the UK. But if I can't get Cordina or anyone over there in the UK, I will have to go. I'll go to another, and then come back around to maybe Cordina or whoever down the road.
Well, there we go. A lot of options on the table, it sounds, and that's good. And obviously, we'd love to have you over here. That'd be a dream come true. Tell me, Jamel, during your retirement, how often were you working out, or maybe how bad did your weight get? Obviously, you're coming back at the same weight you campaigned at before retirement. That's right. Not always the case for fighters that retire, but I do know that you're the only fighter in the world who goes into training camp with an 8-pack and comes out with a 14-pack.
You know what? I actually didn't balloon up like that, like I thought I would.
Of course you didn't.
I don't know. I really didn't. I think maybe the highest is probably like one welterweight limit, like the limit, like 147-ish, in pounds, 147 pounds, maybe. But for the most part, I always maintain my weight. I did, I will work out, every now and then. Like I wasn't working out constantly, of course, but I would when I got a chance. When I start getting that bug back, that itch, I will start working out and training again. So, I would do little things here and there, but I always stayed active and to do something to keep my weight down.
Okay. I just thought, I'd throw that little question in. I know you definitely didn't balloon up 40 pounds, but just for the fun of it. So how many packs have you got at the moment, Jamel? Is it 8, 9, 10?
I lost count.
There we go. Listen, Jamel, just before we wrap it up, my man, if you've got any closing words to the listeners, like I say, man, you've been on the show so many times, I've lost count. What's your final closing message?
Hey, I just want to say, man, it was always great to speak with you, man, especially about boxing, especially about my career. Again, I'm just excited that this fight should be airing on DAZN November 7th, so look out for that. DAZN's picking up the fight. And I just feel great. I woke up this morning. I don't know how, but I woke up this morning at 136 pounds, which is crazy. But I tell you right there, the weight will never be the issue with me. So I will easily be back in the super featherweight division. I just need to go in here, take care of business next month, and then prove that, listen, I want the bigger fights. I want to fight Cordina. I want to fight whoever's the world champion out there. But I want the bigger fights. I want to travel. So I would love to come to the UK. And that's pretty much it.
There we go, man. Now, listen, you sound happy, And I'm just really pleased, man. There's a lot of energy. I can sense it, and I'm really excited for the comeback. Listen, Jamel, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you again on the podcast. The listeners have missed you. Best of luck to you with this next chapter of your career, the comeback, and we'll speak again soon enough.
Yes, sir, brother.